Hello everyone, it's Andrea, welcome back. Today guys we take a look at the M870, a shotgun available for the security for the class Breacher. In Insurgency Sandstorm, the shotguns come with three types of ammunition. The default one is the buckshot, then for one supply you can have either flechette or you can have the slug rounds. The buckshot are better for close quarter encounters because the spread of the pellets is higher, so you can even go with hip fire, go a little bit off target and you still have a chance to hit the enemy. Then we have the flechette, which spread it's a bit tighter and they perform better at range. Then we have slugs, which is just one round and it's supposed to be for longer ranges, but it's debatable if it's better than flechette or slugs. We will see the range test later in the video. The thing about shotguns here in Insurgency Sandstorm is that they feel overpowered. In my opinion, not because they are overpowered, but because in the hands of a good player that know how to use them, they feel extremely good and you can have a huge advantage in close quarters. The first thing that makes this weapon amazing is that you can aim at the target, then while waiting for the next shot, because this is a pump action weapon, you can lower your weapon, move faster and then aim downside again, allowing you for faster movement speed between one shot and the other. Another thing is, if you're good with the hip fire, at close quarters you're gonna have better mobility and more chance of killing targets. And a laser sight can help you with that. So if you get outgunned in close quarters by a shotgun or a breacher in general, take in consideration those weapons are meant for close quarters, so they have a bit of an advantage. But now guys, let's test the penetration of all the three types of ammunition. The first one we're gonna test is the buckshot against the concrete wall. So the buckshot cannot penetrate concrete walls. And now let's do the same test against wood. Okay, you can penetrate wood with buckshot without any problems. And now let's do the same test with the flechette to see if we have more penetration. So same result with the flechette, not enough penetration for concrete. And again, no problems against the wooden cover. Now with the slug, that's where I expect more penetration. So let's try with the concrete wall. Okay, this is a bit disappointing, you can't penetrate concrete wall with the slugs. Wooden cover, no problem. So when it comes down to penetration, it seems like all the three type of shells available for the shotgun have the same penetration value, which is surprising and a bit disappointing for the slug rounds, which in my opinion should have a bit more of penetration. So guys, if you want to use the M870 effectively, first of all make use of the tools which are available for the breacher, the C4, the flash grenade, which helps a lot when approaching a room or an objective frontally. Secondly, you want to flank as much as possible. I remind you that the breacher can equip the suppressor for all the weapons, even the shotgun, which in my opinion makes you stealthier and help you a lot when flanking. Just take into consideration when using a suppressor on the shotgun, your barrel of the weapon is insanely long, so when approaching corners, when trying to hide or watching from a window, it's possible that enemies will spot your weapon before you do, and you might get killed because of it. Me usually I don't use the suppressor often because I don't like the way it looks on the shotgun, and secondly I rather use the supplies on a C4 or more grenades. Also, don't use any armor when using the shotgun, you want to be as light as possible. Just use the heavy carrier if you like to carry a lot of explosives with you, which is something that I like to do. But remind yourself that your aiming down sight will be slower. And now guys, let's test the reload time of this weapon. An option which is available just for the shotguns or bolt-action rifles when reloading is that you can reload one shell or one bullet at a time. This is useful if you need to reload but there are still enemies around. So you can reload one shell and then kill an enemy and then reload another one. I recommend reloading all 8 shells just when you know that you're safe and there are no enemies around. Take consideration also that when you spawn with the shotgun you have 7 shells and you can still reload one and have 8. When it comes down to sight, I like to go with the iron sights of the weapon, no problem. But if you want you can use the red dot sight, the holographic sight. I recommend the holographic just in dark rooms at the time, dark spots, because in my opinion it's too bright at the moment. You can also use the 2x scope if you want to go with slugs or flechette, and a combo I recommend is to use a 2x scope and the laser sight. So you can aim at longer ranges with a 2x scope, and if you want to go at very close range you can use the hip fire to kill targets. And this is also a good way to train yourself to use the hip fire or the shotgun. Also, when defending, don't be afraid to camp in corners inside the rooms and be called a shotgun noob, because camping in defense is a valid choice. And now guys, let's do a little test. Let's see how the buckshot, slugs and flechette performs first a medium distance and then a long distance. Also remember that up to 150 meters all the weapons usually are hit scan and become projectile over 150 meters. Okay, now let's try to shoot a medium range with the buckshot. Let's see where the pellets land. So you can see the spread is not that bad, you can still kill targets, but in my opinion most of the time you will wound them. And now let's see a longer range where the weapon becomes, instead of hit scan, projectile. You can see the bullet drop at distance and you can see how difficult it is to hit the target. And now let's do the same test with a flechette. Flechette it's much better distance, and if they don't have any cover most of the time it will be a kill. Now let's test the distance. At long range I think we see the same problem with the buckshot. Maybe you have a little more chance of killing someone. Now let's test the slugs at medium distance. Okay, you can see that the slugs still you will hit the target, but I don't see any reason to use the slugs over the flechette at this range. And now let's see the slugs at long distance. And before I go on telling you my opinion on this test, I want to show you a clip of me in-game shooting with a slug at distance. Take in mind I have the high ground in this clip. So my take on this is until the shotgun remain a hit-scan weapon, for long-range engagements the flechettes are better. Hit-scan means that the moment you shoot the target, the bullet immediately reaches the target. That's why, in my opinion, flechette is so strong at distance. But the moment the weapon becomes projectile, so is affected by bullet drop, which in my opinion is around 150-200 meters, then the shotguns are not that useful, especially slugs. With one bullet, with that bullet drop, it's very difficult, as you see in the clip, to aim at your target. In that clip I had the high ground, so it was much easier. So I recommend for close quarters using the buckshot, is insanely good. But if you don't mind the tighter spread and you trust your aim, you can use flechette even close quarters, and this allows you to have medium range engagements and get a lot of kills. Slugs, in my opinion, you want to use them right now just if you want to challenge yourself and have a little bit fun. In my opinion, flechette at distance is still better. And I was going to end the video here, guys, but I feel like we should also test the recoil, even if it's not really essential. Now, usually what we do when we test the recoil of a weapon, we go fully automatic and we see the pattern. We cannot do that with the shotgun, first of all, because it's not fully automatic. And the pattern will always change because it depends on the speed on which the weapon is shooting and the initial shot. So for example, I do the same test now and I wait a little bit more between each shot. Since we have a free aim in Insurgency Sandstorm, you can see that the pattern changed completely. So the only thing you need to take care of is the vertical recoil, but by doing the aiming, shooting at someone, then lowering your weapon and then aiming again, that is not much of a problem in my opinion. So you can see right now with the foregrip, it's easier to control, but in my opinion not necessary. You can spend your supplies maybe on a suppressor or having more grenades. So guys, when I'm gonna do the TODS review, the shotgun for the insurgents, I'm gonna go just with slugs and try just long range engagements. Do not make the same video again because the weapons are pretty similar. So guys, thank you again for watching and I'll see you on the next video.